So, welcome everyone to our Hunter Clinic. If you have any questions, you can ask in Say Chat. Say Chat is like the preferable way. I'll be definitely keeping an eye on that more. So, yeah, I would say definitely stick to Say Chat. I won't be looking at Discord as much. So, but if like you can't say what you want to ask in Say Chat, you can definitely type it in Discord, like in the clinic call chat or in just like staff questions, like whichever. But yeah, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think we're good. Okay. So if anyone has any questions before we start, you can ask them now because I know maybe someone's coming in with a question, like maybe they need like a specific thing addressed today that has to do with flat classes. I know that flat classes can be a bit ambiguous and like hard to understand like how to actually do well in them because they're kind of weird. So I'm gonna like go over how they differ from real life and then how we judge them and like approach them. That's a big word. um, but yeah, so I guess I'll just start with like the basics of what even is a flat class because I know some people may not even really totally understand what they are, like especially if you're here and you're trying to get into shows and like you're new. Um, but so a flat class is basically well, under saddle, like hunter under saddle specifically is just a hunter flat class. Yeah, don't curl. Um, but usually it goes along with an overfences class and it'll be a whole division. So, like regular hunters, for example, will be one flat class and one overfences class. Obviously, we're not going to be talking about overfences, but that is when you jump a course of jumps in a specific order. And then the flat class portion is where everyone that's entered in the division will go into the arena all at once. And the judge will, or the announcer will be calling specific gates for you to do. So, like, obviously, you'll start at the walk, and then eventually the announcer will say for everyone to trot, and then everyone will trot at the same time, um, and so on and so forth. And in real life, what judges really look for is in hunters, especially, they look for a horse that, or a pony, horse or pony, that moves really well, has not a lot of knee action, is very like smooth, has like a nice low headset, is sound, has good manners, like they're not pinning their ears at all, like they have a nice expression, things like that. If they have good conformation, good muscling, things like that. A lot of things that we can't really judge in the game. so, um, so we kind of have created like ways to work around that so that we can judge a flat class as close to real life as possible, but like also adapting to what we can work with in the game. So clearly we don't really judge on the way your horse moves or anything like that in the game because there's not enough variation between all the breeds, in my opinion. I mean, obviously there are differences, but like if two people are on a thoroughbred, they're identical. Like there's no way to be like, oh, that horse moves better like than that one. So for that reason, we don't really judge on like the horse itself. The only part of your score that will be having to do with your horse is the breed suitability score, which it really is a very small part of your score, but you can see the breed suitability scores on our website for hunters. And again, breed suitability is only for hunters, so you don't have to worry about it in an equitation on the flat class. or jumpers at all, obviously. But yeah, so breed suitability, for example, like if you were on like a Percheron, which has a breed suitability score of a 6 out of 10, in the flat class, that'll be the equivalent of getting 4 error points, which we will get into all the error points. But typically, people will have anywhere from like 5 to even like over 20 error points. So 4 points isn't like too many in the grand scheme of things, but it can still really like impact. Like if you were doing really well and maybe the top 10 people were all under 5 error points, obviously being on a Percheron is not going to be good for you. so, um, so yeah, I would definitely refer to those. But other than that, that's the only thing that has to do with your horse. Everything else is like everything else we judge in a flat class is all based on how you maneuver yourself during the class. But yeah, oh my gosh, someone really wants our help. Ruth. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so that's basically the difference between game versus real life. So right now, if anyone wants to like follow along, you can, but I have open our official judging guidelines, which can be found on our website. If you go to our website, there's the judging tab, but then if you hover on that, there's a drop down to the judging guidelines, which is a Google Doc that I'm looking at. And this has every under saddle slash flat class error that you can get. And it's all there, so everyone has access to it if they're wondering like what they would get an error point for in under saddle. So, oh, I should also probably explain this before we get into this. So the judging template for under saddle is lowest number of error points is better, obviously. So it'll be like the list of all the riders, and then there's going to be a column for each judge to assign their flat error points to each person. And then after that, there's the columns for breed errors, dress code errors, level errors, and mood errors, but we'll get into that after this. So the flat errors part is really the main thing that gets people because usually most everyone has a nice, maxed happy horse. They've got the correct dress code. Everything's good. And when it comes down to the people that are in the top 10 or so, they usually are we're only looking at flat errors for them because everything else is good. So I'm going to kind of just go through one by one the flat errors that you can get so that everyone's just like aware of them before we get started with actually like doing stuff in the game. But so yeah, I would say the worst thing you can get, which would give you a total of 5 points, is cutting off someone. So this is pretty self-explanatory. An example would be that you're trotting on the quarter line, and then somebody next to you is on the rail, and you think you have enough space to go in front of them to get back on the rail, because basically being on the rail during a flat class is the best position you can be in because the judge isn't going to notice you as much, and you're way less likely to get any error points if you're not doing anything. If you're not doing anything wrong, that is. But yeah, so if you're on the quarter line and you're trying to get back onto the rail and you think you have enough space, most of the time people underestimate the amount of room they have because of screen delay. So if you're trotting and on your screen you appear to be like a horse or two ahead of them, it's very likely that you are actually like right on top of them or somewhat cutting through them when you go onto the rail. So, and this also can vary based on how fast you're going. So if you're going at the walk, there's a lot less screen delay. And then there's a little bit more at the trot, and then at the canter and extended canter, there's a lot of screen delay, so you got to give yourself a lot more room. But I can kind of like demonstrate that if anyone is confused at all about what I mean when I say that. Does anyone want to see like a little demonstration? Yeah, Bambi has a really good chart that like explains screen delay. It's the same concept as SSO dressage, and the way that when you're in your dressage line, you're always like halfway in front. You're always or no, you're halfway like in the person in front of you to compensate basically. There's like the clinic call chat, but if you want, you could post it in like main chat. That would probably be more permanent. But yeah, I can like try to demonstrate though. I need a volunteer. Minnie, wait, no, Ghost wants to volunteer. Maybe both of you. Okay, Ghost said it first. So Ghost, come here. So I just want you to like trot back and forth like along this like end of the ring. Does that make sense? Like kind of just like go back and forth. Like try to stay like nearby everyone. Yeah. And you can just like do a U-turn every time. There you go. Sick. Okay, so if I was near Ghost and like I was trying to pass, just pretend like I'm trotting really fast. And I'm like, "Oh, like I have enough room here." So on my screen, I'm ahead of her, but I'm definitely not ahead of her on everyone else's screen. So did everyone see that there? Yeah, so like here, like I'm like a good 1 horse length ahead. Oh my god, everyone said yes at once. But when I was cutting in, I was definitely cutting her off. So I would definitely give someone 5 points if I saw that. So hopefully everyone kind of gets the concept of that. It's like I think it's pretty like standard that everyone understands screen delay, but just like let me know if you ever need a little bit more in-depth explanation for that. And then so the next error is clumping. This is basically when obviously you're going along and there's like maybe like 2 to 4 people really close to you. This can get a little confusing because like when I'm judging, I look at everyone in the clump, and if nobody so a clump would be worth 5 points. It's like similar to cutting people off, so that's why it's so many, but yeah, so I look at everyone in the clump when it's happening, and if nobody is trying to get out of it, I'll typically give everyone in the clump 5 error points just because like nobody's trying to fix it. But if I see someone trying to get out of it in like a reasonable way, I usually won't give that person any error points because they're clearly trying to like change where they are and they're trying to fix it. Why is everyone crowding around me? Yeah, it's same thing. If you're in the middle, if you have to like cut people off to get out of it, I would rather see that than you just stay there. And oh my gosh, seriously, guys. I'd rather see you just like try to get out of it no matter what than do nothing. So, yeah. So that's clumping. Clumping's pretty straightforward. Just basically, like, moral of the story is the further away you can stay from everyone, the better. Like, if you're on the rail, minding your own business, not going near anybody as much as possible, you're probably going to do pretty good in a flat. So that's like kind of just going to be the takeaway from today. But yeah. Oh my god, I can't breathe, you guys. Okay, so moving on. Another reason you would get an error point, this one's actually also worth 5, is if you do the incorrect gate. So if I'm watching and like let's say I call for a canter and you go up to the extended canter you would get 5 points. Or if like I'm not even saying to change gates and you just like break into the wrong gate by accident and I happen to see it, you'll get points for that. So that's pretty obvious. That would happen in real life too. Like it's like kind of the equivalent of like getting the wrong lead or something, you know? Yeah, it's like your horse bolting. Oh my gosh, yeah, and just be careful of the preset boards that like if you're using your mouse to turn, sometimes it'll make you stop out of nowhere. Yeah, be careful of that. Yeah, if you have a question, go ahead and ask. um, okay. While you're asking that, I will continue. So another big thing, this might be a little hard to explain, but someone told me that judges like if you circle in front of them. Is that true? Uh, I don't know. I would say no. I I mean, I'll get into this in a second. I'll get into the circling part in a second because it depends on the circle. So, if you're doing like a nice big circle to get away from people or like to get a better spot on the rail, like that's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's like perfectly fine. But I feel like in real life, that can be a good thing because like oh you're trying to show off your horse in front of the judge so you're like actually trying to get their attention when they are like going really nice, but honestly like when I'm judging, the people that do the best are the people that I see the least pretty much. So if you're like constantly like circling in front of me or like I'm constantly seeing you on the quarter line or just like whatever, I'm probably going to end up giving you like a couple points here and there just cuz like which I will also get into this in a second, but um the best spot you can be is just on the rail. Like obviously we had to come up with like more reasons for errors that might not be realistic to real life just so that like we have more things to go off of, but somebody that's like working hard to get onto the rail and not be on the quarter line and not having to circle constantly are gonna get less error points just because like they're making it a priority to get back on the rail. But again, it depends. If it's a really big flat class and there's like 25 plus people, we're a lot less like harsh with that kind of things. Like if there's a lot of people that have to be on the quarter line or circle, like it's we're not going to be as strict about that. So it just depends. But I would say, yeah, like avoid circling and being obvious, if that makes sense. And also, another reason circles can be really risky is like cutting people off because it really does like increase your chance of cutting someone off because you're going to be coming back to the rail at the end of that circle and you might think you've got an opening, but chances are you might not. And it can just be a little too risky. So I would honestly say that just staying on the quarter line can be better than circling, but it just like all depends on the situation. Horseshoes are needed, but I really don't look at the horseshoes you've got. So it's not like, oh, you're gonna get dress code errors for that. But if I notice, then yeah, technically they are required. So in shows, can I have boots for my horse? No. So in hunter under saddle, no, you can't have any leg wear on your horse, and this is consistent with real life. You also can't have like anything on your horse's legs in a hunter flat in real life. Um, the only thing that we do allow boots in is equitation on the flat, just because we allow it in metal, and I don't really care to differentiate between the two. But yeah, no boots or leg wraps in any hunter class. We don't even have baby greens, so it's fine. Don't even. I think we do. Do we even have green hunters? I think we do. I don't even know. I don't even know what divisions we have. That's really great. I'm a great owner. But yeah, just never put any leg wear on hunters. Yeah. Because hunters are like oh my god, I don't even know how to describe like why they wouldn't want leg wear. It's like, I don't even know. I guess it's just like they want you to be like showing your horse like in the most like authentic way. Yeah, like they don't want anything on your horse's legs. They want to make sure that they're totally sound. Yeah, it can be distracting, etc., etc. Right. Yeah, it can hide lameness. Because hunters is all about being sound and moving well and whatnot. So, and that way they can like see their legs. Right. Yes. See, you guys got it. But anyway, so that is that. We went over incorrect gates. Okay, so the next thing before we get back to circling and whatnot, even though we kind of, we kind of already went over that. Okay, so we'll finish this up and then I'll go back to the lineup stuff. But so circling, like I said, big circles are usually fine, except for they're occasionally risky. The only thing that you will definitely get error points for is if you do a really small circle, like a curl. And it does happen a lot. So just make sure you don't do that. We give 3 points for small circles. Sometimes horses aren't sound without boots and hiding soundness. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so yeah, don't do tiny circles. If you need to circle, make sure it's nice and big, like kind of like an opening or closing circle size, And yeah, the next thing, which we already kind of talked about, is excessively riding the quarter line, which will give you, it says 3 points on the judging guidelines, but I give anywhere from 1 to 3. It really depends. Um, a lot of these really depend on the situation. So this is kind of like, it's like an outline, I guess. It's really an outline, but we really do use this when we judge, so don't worry. But yeah, so excessively riding the quarter line, again, it really depends. If it's a really big class, like I said before, we won't give error points for this because there's just too many people for everyone to be able to be on the rail. But if it's like a small, medium class, and you could definitely find a spot on the rail, but you're just not, then you're definitely going to get some points for just being like kind of out in the middle of the arena. So yeah, that's that. All right, so the next part is a little bit hard to get at first, but it's pretty straightforward. So at the end of the flag class, when we have everyone line up in the middle of the arena in a line, for a class of this size, would you get points for being on the quarter line? I would say like if it's over 20 people, not so much because that's a big class. But if it's under 20 people, you will. I would say like 20 is like about the cutoff. Yeah, so I'm gonna have my staff here create a little line with me. We'll just do it like right where we are, facing everyone else. So just stand by. Oh my gosh. Guys, make a line. Come on. This is embarrassing. Okay, so if we were the judges lined up and everyone was out on the rail doing their thing, I'm going to pretend like I'm someone out on the rail because it's easier. And then everyone else can just stay lined up. Minnie, go line up. What are you doing? Okay, so let's say like I'm on the rail and they call for the lineup. If I'm here when they call the lineup, you can go right into it like this. Like that's perfectly fine. But if you're past the line of judges, like if you're here, like over this way when they call the lineup, it would be considered changing direction if you were to just go like this to line up, which would give you error points. So when the lineup is called, just don't change direction. Just continue going all the way around the arena. So if I was here when they called lineup, I would keep going all the way around the rail, around the back of the judges, and then into the lineup. Yeah, like you can cut the arena for sure. Like if you're like all the way in the far corner and you're just like walking, you can definitely kind of just like if you're here where I was, you can cut like behind the judges, kind of cut the ring. Like that's totally fine. As long as you're not changing direction to go into the lineup. That's all that really matters. So does everyone get that? Does that make sense? I know it's like a little weird, but yeah. And then going off of that, once you do line up, what you do once you line up also matters. So we look for people that are moving after they halt. So ideally, you would just go and halt and not move. But if you're like wiggling or like trying to adjust, you're going to get a few error points. It really depends. But also, if you're too close to other people when you line up, you might get some error points. And also, if you're like pretty far off of the line, like if you're like behind everyone else, you're probably going to get some points. So just like little things like that. It's good to like take your time and just like try to find a good spot in the line, even if it means like going to all the way to the end. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Is everyone following? Hopefully. Yes. Okay. All right. There's only a few more, and then there's only one more, and then we'll get into dress code and stuff. But I'm not really gonna go that much into dress code. Yeah, I would say if you're touching boots, that would be too close. So as long as you're not touching, as long as there's like a little bit of space, like you'll be good. What's the best hunter pony? The Golland. No, I don't know. That's all up to you. Like I said, we have a breed suitability score list, and as long as they have a score of a 10, like you're good. Like if they're all equal. So there really is no like best horse or pony. Eggcorn is the best hunter pony. Eggcorn won Nalsa Pony Finals like last year or whatever. Okay, he's an icon. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. The breed suitability list. So our website is, if you go on our Discord server, if you go to the information section, there's official links. And then if you click on website, and then you click on the judging tab, and that's like clicking on the actual judging tab, not the drop down that says official guidelines. That is where the scores are. But yeah, okay, so oh my god, Icorn, stop. Eggcorn the icon. Eggcorn is like our mascot, I feel like. Okay, anyway, I'm getting distracted. All right, so there's just one more error point. It's kind of small, but if you are asked to move up or down, so like a transition from like, I don't know, walk to trot or trot to canter or even walk to canter, I'll usually, like when the transitions are happening, I usually like put my screen on a group of people, and whoever is the last person in that group to make the transition, I'll usually give them like 1 to 3 error points. Usually only one, because it's really not that big of a problem, but it's just like another way to like quote unquote judge people. So that's just another thing to keep in mind, is to be really on top of your transitions and try to make them as quickly as possible. And if it's like a walk to a canter, if you can do that without showing any trot steps, that's your best bet. So, yeah. And that's like pretty much it for flat errors though. So, is everyone good with that? Or do we have any questions? I like how all the other staff are just like behind me, looking like my security team. Okay, so the only other thing that's on the judging template other than flat errors is the breed suitability score. So, like I said, if you have the Percheron, for example, their score is a 6. So the breed errors would be 4 because that's how many points off of 10 they are. And another example, if you have a Pasofino, they have a score of 8, so they would have 2 breed errors. And then if you have a horse like that has a score of 10, like the Gotland, they would have 0 errors, which is obviously ideal. So, Irish Cob, I think it might be a 6 because I'm kind of mean with drafts. I'm going to try to not be mean with the Shire. I'm going to probably give the Shire an 8. Only because it's a draft, even though I love them. But I'm sorry. No, I don't. But like in like, like Hunters is like, usually nice, like fit, like light moving, not heavy. All right, we're not going to get into the breed debate. Oh god. Yeah, the Welsh pony is a 10. Okay, anyway, getting distracted. Okay, stop. Okay. All right, so after breed errors, there's dress code errors. I'm not going to get into this because our dress code's on our website. It's all there. It's really straightforward. But the only thing I will explain is so for every dress code error, so for example, if you have like a hairstyle that isn't on our list of approved hairstyles, you'll just get 2 error points. So every dress code error is worth 2 points. And I think that's on the judging guidelines. Yeah. So on the judging guidelines, it says 2 points per dress code error, 2 points per horse mood error. So your horse's mood does play a part. If your horse, yeah, if you guys have questions, feel free to just ask. I will answer them as they come. So your horse's mood, when we go down the line, when everyone's lined up, we look at your dress code, we look at your horse's level, and we look at their mood. So if your horse is green, you obviously get 0 errors. If their mood is in the yellow, you get 2 errors. And then if they're red, then they get like 4 or 5. I think 5 is the most I'll give, but it's probably 4. So again, it's like not that many points, but it's still gonna make a difference if you're like in the top scoring. Okay, how do you guys, do you guys do classes when it's 12 and under? No, so we currently don't have like any classes restricted to like an age or anything. We kind of did that at the beginning, but yeah, we kind of stopped because I didn't really want to I didn't want to limit anyone based on the division. I was like, we might like reinstate that maybe next year, but I'm not sure. So yeah, no, we currently don't have a short stirrup division, but I don't know. People do like short stirrup though. Yeah, so the pictures of the hairstyles are actually in the judging guidelines, which are in like that Google Doc I was talking about. If you go to judging, there's a drop down arrow and then you can click on judging guidelines. Yeah. And they're also pinned to our staff questions channel if that's easier. But there's currently 4 hairstyles that are allowed. Hopefully there will be a lot more when our characters are updated. But All right, anyway, moving on. Trying to get through this. This is taking forever. Oh my gosh. And then last but not least is just your horse's level. So you'll get 1 error point per level under maxed. So if your horse is level 14, you'll get 1 error point. If they're level 10, you'll get 5, and so on and so forth. So that is pretty straightforward. Okay, so explaining that took so long, but I want you guys to have some time to actually like ride. So everyone can come into the arena now. Yeah, you can definitely have 2 riders registered. You can have as many as you want, but I always recommend doing like no more than 2 because your points accumulate based on your roleplay name. So the less you have, like the more chance you will have like more points under that name, if that makes sense. So yeah. Yeah, so everyone can come in the arena and spread yourselves out. Hopefully we all fit nicely in here. Petition to give us hairnets. Oh my gosh. That would be great. Yeah, so you guys can spread out and then keep walking. I see like the whole left side is stopped. Yeah, keep walking. You're good. Oh my god, I like need to clear my throat, but I don't want to like hurt anyone's ears. Like at all. Yeah, I should. Just like go on mute just to cough. It's fine. No, I literally like when I talk for this long, because I never talk for this long because I don't do anything. Anyway, I just like lose my voice. Like by the end of this, I will have like no voice. But it's fine. Okay, so what I'm gonna have you guys do is I'm gonna like it's kind of gonna be like a mock flat class, but I'm not gonna judge you guys. I'm just gonna as we go, I'm just gonna go up to people that I see are doing things that would be considered like wrong and you would get points for, and I'll just like tell you right then and there because I feel like that'll be the most useful. Because I feel like most of the time it's related to screen delay when you get error points. So if I'm able to like, oh, like you're cutting into someone, maybe you don't know it, but like you'll know it if I point it out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can hop in. Do it. Yeah, I think you're just an assistant, so it's fine. I think I've got the questions under control right now. Okay, I'm not missing anything here, I don't think. Oh yeah, and if anyone wants to look at the diagrams that Bambi posted, they're in main chat, but you can see them after. I think they're also on her website for Pink Queens, so very detailed. We love it. Who almost got taken out? What's happening? Oh my gosh. Okay, so this arena is really big, so you guys shouldn't have too many issues today, but in the normal arenas, it is a lot harder, but everyone looks good right now, though, so just pretend like I'm judging you, you know. And I'm just gonna start kind of like, I'm gonna call you out nicely. I'll try to be nice. Oh my gosh, I agree. Yeah, they need to add jumps here so we can have shows here. I would love to do that. I'm gonna try to possibly have one of the days for Hunter finals here because I can just do like the Hunter hack here on one day because we won't have to do anything else that day. And we can have the like class limit be like 40 people. No, I'm kidding. But probably like 30 people. don't know how many people are here now. Let's see. Kind of curious. So there's 30 people in the call, but there's probably only like 25. Yeah, I feel like this arena could fit 30. For sure. Yeah, no, definitely not 40. But yeah, for finals, I will most definitely be splitting flat classes if there are a lot of entries, because I don't really want to like not let anyone compete. So okay, so everyone looks good right now. So everyone go ahead and trot. And just remember all the things. Trying to stay away from people. Alright, so Anna Moonblanket. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna call you guys by your SSO names. Anna Moonblanket, you were a little bit close to those people on the rail. Colette Waterbridge, you guys are, getting a little close. So this would be a really good example. So Anna just went to go. I'm sorry if I'm putting you on the spot. I don't want to call anyone out, but it's a learning experience, okay? You guys are doing great. So you guys are like in a bit of a clump. So I would definitely probably give some points for that, but obviously the best thing you could do, no, it's okay, I swear. The best thing you could do is kind of just like break away from the group. And I would most likely not give you points for that. So, but yeah, I think it's helpful that when you went to go in front of Colette, you were definitely very close, even though I'm sure on your screen you were good. So, also, when you guys are on the quarter line, quote unquote, even though this really isn't like the quarter line in here, you can like definitely give yourself a decent amount of space. Like, you don't have to be like right next to people when you're passing them. I mean, that's just gonna like draw the judge's eye in a bad way. Like if we see anyone getting close to anyone, it's gonna draw our eye. So just keep that in mind. Like just the most space you can give yourself, the better. Yeah, everyone's doing great. Don't let me scare you. This is just for learning. Okay, so Isabella Pearlbell, you kind of went through Lena over here on the Frisian. But I do see you are cutting across, which is good. No, you're good. You're good. As long as you're aware, it's fine. This is all fun and games right now. Everyone's doing good though. So another thing that like isn't really on the judging guidelines that like sometimes we consider is how smoothly you like maneuver yourself throughout the ring. So obviously we don't want to see anyone like quickly turning their horse or like jerking their head over because that's just not pretty. So the least amount of that you can do, the better. So, but that's pretty like self-explanatory, I think, and obvious. So, but yeah, everyone looks good. Oh, another thing that I saw someone doing before was they were slowing down to help space themselves out. Like they were actually going down to like the walk and stuff. So definitely don't do that. Like if you're getting close to somebody. Oh yeah, if you guys need to go early, that's totally fine, by the way. But yeah, so if you are getting close to somebody in front of you, you definitely don't want to slow down. You got to keep the gate that you're supposed to be going in and just you got to figure it out another way. Whether that's going on the quarter line or circling. All right, you guys, you don't have to tell people not to do stuff. It's fine. But yeah, so curling, definitely a no-no if you're doing like a tight circle to avoid someone. And if the judge sees that, you're definitely going to get like 3 points or so. I think it's 3 points, yeah. Everyone looks good over here though. Do people on the rail get in trouble for clumping? So It really depends. If you're on the rail and there's like a clump forming around you, you're like the least of my concern. It's more the people that are like closing in on you that I'm gonna be looking at. But at the same time, it would be like probably in your best interest to try to just like get out of the clump, even if it means like going through people, because at least you know that you're getting like surrounded. Also, another tip that helps immensely with flat classes, because like the best thing you can do is be aware of your surroundings. I would highly recommend using your mouse to pan your camera around uh, often, because you really got to know like who's behind you and also who's in front of you, because someone behind you might be like creeping up on you and you don't even know it. And if I like look over and there's someone really close behind you, it's going to look like you're cutting them off or something, so you're probably going to get points. But if you've got your camera panning around, then odds are you're going to notice that before it happens and you'll be able to like get away from them. I would not wiggle to slow down because, like I said before, you don't want to be doing things that are going to look like you're jerking your horse's head or anything. You want to be smooth. So, wiggling really isn't the best, but just like cutting away from the group or going down the quarter line is like way better. So, all right. So, everyone can go ahead and canter. Make this a little harder. Most of the time, they're going to ask for the extended canter also, and that's just like a chaotic mess usually. So, it's really hard, honestly. Like, there's really no good way other than just, again, trying to avoid everyone. But a lot of times, where you are in the flat is just going to be like luck. Like, sometimes you really just like can't control, like, if somebody like gets on top of you, you know what I mean? But, all right, everyone's looking good. I see a little bit of a clump back here with Colette and Jane. You guys are a little bit in each other right now. Yeah, flat class is, it's a lot of luck is involved. It's just like, oh, if you have a good spot, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you get lucky and nobody's near you the entire time. And then you'll usually win. So, all right, I see a little clump down there too. Who was that? That was Violet, aka Ghost, and Fiona. I think you guys kind of got a little clumpy there. Sawyer and Eleanor, you guys were a little close for a second. Yeah, just like ignore our staff running through you all. It's fine. Everyone else's spacings though are looking good. It's pretty easy to tell like who's got like the spatial awareness and who doesn't, you know. Okay, so Vanessa, you were a bit close to Emma when you cut back onto the rail there, so be careful of that. That was good. You kind of like broke away there. That was good. Good job. I feel like, I don't know, hopefully this is helpful because I'm able to like tell you where you are on someone else's screen, you know. Crystal, you're a little close to Eleanor. I know, isn't this crazy? It's almost 8 already. Like, what? I literally talked for like most of the time. It's fine. All right, go ahead and go down to the walk, and then you guys can change directions. And when they ask you to change directions, you just do like a half circle. You don't have to like cut across the arena unless you need to. Sometimes you need to, but the sooner you can change direction, the better. It's kind of like asking for a gate. Like if you're like the last one to change direction, you might get some error points. But yeah. All right, and then I'm not gonna, so don't do it yet, but I'm gonna ask you guys to go straight into the canter. But I just want you to mentally prepare yourself. Because in order to get that transition clean without any trot steps, you really do have to double tap up pretty quickly. So feel free to practice it if you don't get it the first time, but you guys can go ahead and canter. Oh, someone's horse took off a little there. Yeah, you can join in. That's totally fine. But yeah, so the walk to canter transition definitely, also the trot to extended canter transition. It's always good to practice that, like outside of a show, because those are very useful to be good at. Okay, so Alyssa, that was a pretty good circle, but I would definitely make that bigger. You would, that was like on the line of being a little too small. Yeah, so if anyone's wondering why we take into account horse level and mood, it's because if you're slower in a flat class, it's way easier to do better because you're not having to pass anyone. So that's why you get points off because you're at an advantage already. So it's just to try to make things as fair as possible. And then hopefully that way everyone will hopefully have a max happy horse, but usually there's a few people that don't, which is okay, but and I know that like some consider if your horse is unhappy, that's like the equivalent of them being unsound. So that's like another way for us to try to make it like real life, you know. All right, there's a bit of a clump going on over here with Lena, Georgia, Caroline, a little bit. That was good. Car like cut away. We love to see it. Oh my god, I keep forgetting that like I'm recording this and people are gonna have to watch this, and like I'm just like quickly turning my camera and I'm probably gonna make someone motion sick. And it's fine. I will learn. Okay, Scarlett, you're a little close to Emma. You could definitely give yourself more room there. Yeah, that's perfect. Good job. I'm not gonna make you guys extended canter. I can't. Also, the lag would probably be terrible. But everyone's doing good. I feel like you guys got the hang of it. The spacings look good from where I am. Yeah, the lag. Oh my god, I feel like the lag is possibly the hardest part of flat classes because like it's like you're trying your best, but then like I don't know, the lag just like comes out of nowhere sometimes. All right, Crystal and Jane, you guys are in each other a bit there. Everyone else looks pretty good. All right, so you guys can go ahead and walk. That was really good. I was gonna possibly do like a real mock flat class if we had time, but it's fine. This was more productive anyway. Because I feel like people always are like, oh, like can we get feedback or like a scorecard of some kind for a flat class? And like we don't offer that because when we put in the error points, we just keep adding them into each other into like one total amount of points. So it's like we don't like write down every specific error that you do. So there's no way for us to really like be like, oh, you did this and that. But yeah. So this is like good because I can at least like point things out as they happen. But yeah, you guys did good. Okay, so we're gonna end this with a lineup. Okay, so my staff people need to line up with me. Come to me, my staff. My wonderful staff. Alright, so everyone just remember what I said. Just don't change direction to go into the lineup. Alright, so everyone can continue walking into the lineup in the center of the arena facing your judges. Just pretend like we're the judges. Okay, so Eleanor, that would be considered changing direction. But if you were to keep going behind us, that would have been fine. Oh, you're AFK. All right, never mind. You're good. Oh my god. Yeah, everyone's doing good. Yep, you can like totally cut the arena like that. Otherwise, it'll probably take forever. Yep, everyone's doing good. Yeah, so the only tricky part about cutting the arena like that is like it might cause you to get into some sticky situations like what just happened there. You guys were a little bit in a clump trying to like get sorted out. So it's literally fine if you guys just keep going around the rail. Like it's not like it takes forever. Like, and it's probably better because then you won't have to worry about like cutting anyone off accidentally. But that was good. You guys did good. Nobody changed directions. Only Eleanor, but they're good. They got an excuse. They were AFK. And then the other person, Alyssa, I think, didn't know which line, which is totally fine. But yeah, us judges will always be in like the white polo shirts, the black and white outfits. So usually there's less of us, so it's a little more obvious. So yeah, there's always at least 2 people judging flat because it's so hard to like see everyone, you know. I try to avoid being the only person at all costs because I know that I can't see everything and it's just not going to be as accurate of a score if I'm the only one doing it. So we try to have at least 2, if not more. But how do you make sure 2 judges don't mark for the same thing? So we can see each other in the sheet, like when we're marking things down. So like also we're at opposite ends of the arena. So during the actual class, we don't tend to see the same things happening at the same time because we're on the opposite ends. And then for the lineup, we just like watch each other and see like, oh, if I see the other judge mark down someone, I like won't give them points obviously because I saw that they got marked down. We'll just like do it like that so that nobody gets like double errored. But yeah. So I would do a judge flat class, but we're gonna end in just a minute just because I don't want this to go more than an hour. But yeah, potentially for our next clinic, we could do like a judged version and then I could like have you guys look at the sheet or something like that. But we do offer private lessons though if you ever want. They're purchasable through our server shop, which you can read more about in our, which channel is it? The server shop channel explains more about that, but we do have private lessons, so if you want like more in-depth about flat classes, you could definitely get a lesson with me or whoever, another judge. But yeah. So if anyone has any last minute questions, now's your chance. Would it be alright if I post some clips of the clinic? Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh. You can send them in the art and media channel. It's totally fine. Hopefully we got some good pictures of you guys. I might try to get some pictures after we stop if anyone wants to hang out a little bit. I can take some fancy reshade pictures. If anyone wants to just like sit in the line, I can like do a little photo shoot of you guys. But but yeah, is anyone, no more questions? Everyone good? What if you accidentally press the jump button while in the canner? You would, if we see that happen, yeah, we would give a few points for that. But we can be very picky in black classes. That's probably like the place where we're the most harsh, unfortunately, but it's just like so that we can find something to like actually judge on because Star Stable is difficult. But yeah, so hopefully you all learned something. I hope. Um, and yeah, last chance for questions. Let me know. I mean, you can always ask me like outside of this, of course, but yeah, of course. And you guys like literally ask me anything anytime. I will explain it as best I can. I don't like want anyone to feel like they don't like understand how stuff is judged because that's just like not fair. So I will happily like explain anything. And yeah. Yeah, we really do try to make it like real life, but it is hard. So yeah, just a reminder, I will take pictures if you want to stick around for a few minutes, but you guys are free to go. I'm gonna hopefully post this on YouTube so that it's up for anyone to see. And yeah, thank you all for coming and have a great rest of your night.